How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Geeky Leaks podcast, where we're going to talk about PC hardware, software, video games, electronics in general, you name it. If it's tech-related, we're going to talk about it here. I'm your host, Liam, and this is...
I'm Josh.
Right on. And, without any further ado, let's just kind of get right into it, I guess.
Sounds good, man.
Cool. Intel managed to sneak out some Xeons this week.
Sneak out some Xeons? That's actually crazy that they can just, sneak out
pretty much
top-end hardware.
They didn't do, a big announcement for it. They didn't do, a big press release or anything. But, basically, more cores. They're better. Up to 28 cores now, 56 threads.
That's insane, actually.
Just ridiculous. And, if I remember correctly, it's like a 205-watt TDP or something insane. Still not as much as those old bulldozer AMD CPUs, but hey, at least you get 28 cores.
I mean, it's old gen. At that point, this new stuff is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
28 cores at, sorry, what was it? 28 cores at what?
I believe it was, I think it's 2 or 2.1 gigs.
Okay, so it's kind of slow.
So it's a little slow, but hey, if you're doing stuff where you need all the cores, yeah. There's that. And no pricing right now. But yeah. 2.5 gigs.
Okay, so that's...
So 2.5 gigs.
That's not bad.
That's not too bad, yeah.
28 cores at 2.5, that's going to be ridiculous.
I remember back in the day buying a quad core at 2.4 gigs.
Yeah, exactly.
And being like, ooh...
This is so fast.
This is crazy.
Exactly right.
So, yeah.
People are going to laugh at you, because then there's going to be the people that are watching that are like, oh, I remember back in the day
with
this.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, you youngin'.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, anyway, so that's my first kind of quick topic for the day. Interesting if you need all the cores and have deep pockets, because I don't know what they're going to cost, but 5,000-6,000 US probably?
Yeah.
I don't know.
At that point it really doesn't matter, because most people who are looking at 28 cores, 56 studs probably don't care about the price. They probably do render farms or something, but...
They're probably just well, how fast can I get this done?
Yeah, but it's still going to be ridiculously expensive for an everyday consumer.
Oh, yeah. So. You could easily buy, the 10-core Broadwell E and then the whole computer cheaper than this.
Exactly.
So,
just the product.
But yeah. So that's kind of a thing.
On to the next. This is from... I don't know if this is from NAB. Because NAB is going on, I figured we should talk a lot about some video production and some photography stuff. So
for sure.
I don't know if this is a new company. They didn't really look into this, but I saw this article and thought it was interesting. A company called Sling Studio makes a really affordable and new device to help you broadcast live. Essentially, it's just this little device that'll allow you to make essentially a Wi-Fi hotspot that connects to, say, whatever, it has these receivers that you buy too, and it's this big package.
Okay.
So you buy the receivers, and then you hook it up to your camera, be HDMI or whatever. I think there's a couple connections on it, I don't remember exactly, but HDMI at least, your camera into this device, and then it's a wireless connection to this box.
Okay.
But then this box allows you to, I think it switches for you, switches your video source for you automatically. I could be wrong about that.
So, can you use multiple different sources for it?
Yes, you can hook up multiple cameras, so you can do a multicam live broadcast.
Okay.
For, I think it was sub $1,000 for this package.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
That's pretty ridiculous considering, one Blackmagic, deck link, a card to essentially take audio or video inputs is $500.
Yeah, for
so
a good
considering
one. Yeah.
You can buy this for
This thing says it does 10 cameras. So
it'll do 10 cameras, but if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see there's the breakdown of what sort of how you could hook it up with the receivers and even smartphones and stuff. So yeah,
so you can basically
it all goes back to an iPad, and then from there you go into the app, and then you can broadcast live via Facebook or YouTube or whatever service I think that you can sign into.
But the nice thing with this, so you could theoretically hook up everything from your Sony
FS5
all the way up to your cell phone.
Yeah, your cell phone. Yeah.
So pretty much whatever you want. Yeah, which is cool.
So it's really nice in that sense. You're just in this say it's an open mic, for an example, or whatever, and you want to broadcast this to Facebook because it's cool, and you have your cell phone and buddy's cell phone and buddy's cell phone. We're all yeah, cool, let's do this, and then. You hook up all their phones to those receivers or whatever, or no, not even via the modules. They're Bluetooth modules, I think.
Okay.
And then you just broadcast live with everybody's phone.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
so
then
it's
you get multiple angles and whatever else, or you can even at that point, because it's wireless, it's Bluetooth or whatever, you could have multicam shoots that are actually moving.
Yeah.
You could have literally camera operators walking around.
So if you had you were a small club owner and you wanted to get some live footage of a band, you could say set up a camera still somewhere, and then have one or two other people with cameras or cell phones or whatever, kind of going around and being hey, go get a shot of the drummer, or go get a shot of
And
whoever,
then you could just
guitar
have
player
this
or
like
something.
back thing behind the bar or whatever that's hooked up to an iPad broadcasting live to Facebook or whatever, right?
That's pretty cool.
So it's pretty crazy considering how cheap it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's all wireless solution. It's just super packaged. I mean, it's the I think the receivers were like $300 each.
Okay.
The base is $500, and then you can have an iPad or some sort of smart device or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, considering a deck link from Blackmagic is $500.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty affordable at that point.
Well, and the versatility too, right? Like
exactly.
It's not like you don't have to have an HDMI out of the device to have run a cable somewhere.
And then even the Blackmagic cards are all SDI, so you have to adapt from SDI if your cameras don't have it out. Like if you don't have an FS5 or a top end camera like that one there.
Yeah, then you're adapting.
You're not having SDI out, which means you're getting HDMI to SDI, which is also expensive.
Yeah.
Like one of those boxes is a couple $100. So
it's like the simplicity of this is nice too,
mm-hmm.
and just being able to use everything. That's pretty handy.
Yep.
That's cool. Right on. And then those are available now?
Not exactly sure if those are available now, but I think they just got announced at NAB or shown off.
Oh, fair enough. So probably soon enough then.
I could be wrong about it being at NAB. It's just because it's a photography related item, but
cool.
Definitely, yeah.
That's a handy device, man. Yeah, especially if you do a lot of video, right?
Exactly.
Be super handy. So, next thing on my list was AMD's 500 series.
Yep.
They did... Now, the article I have here is just for an on-text review of the 580 and 570. Mm-hmm. There's actually two other cards they released as well. Okay. There's a 560 and a 550.
Okay.
Basically, the 560, 70, and 80 are all basically rebrands.
Okay.
So, the 580 is the 480 with higher clocks.
Yeah. AMD does it a lot,
yeah.
Like, they seem to just rebrand their last generation as, like, cheaper, and then it's like the top-end card was now the 80 card is now the 70 or whatever. They seem to do that.
I mean, like, to be fair, NVIDIA's done it in the past, too.
Sure.
But... Unfortunately, AMD seems to do it a little bit more often. Now, the 550 is all new. The 550 is all new silicon. It's a whole new chip. It's very small.
So it's just the 560, 70, and 80 that are
rebrands. Now, even the 560 is a little bit different. So the 570 and 580 are the exact same, just higher clock speeds.
Okay.
The 570 actually got a really nice bump. The 570 in performance almost bumps up against the 480.
Interesting.
In terms of performance, because it got like a 20% base clock, roughly, increase. It went from like 900 something to like 1100 something.
Okay, so that's significant.
So that got a nice boost. But the 560, when AMD first released the 470, the 460 rather, the little tiny one, they wanted to have it not have any 6-pin power connectors, not be a requirement.
Okay.
So I think one of the ways they did that was they disabled one of the kind of SMs. So not all of the stream processors were available.
Okay.
There's actually a few of them disabled.
So that's how they could make it cheaper.
They made it cheaper, but also less power. So you didn't have to have a 6-pin on it.
Interesting.
For the 560, they've enabled, because basically there was a BIOS mod going on around for the 460 to allow you to unlock those other processors.
Makes sense, yeah.
Because, sure.
Obviously, you want to get the most performance.
Yeah, so this time around, AMD just unlocked them already.
Okay.
So in that sense, the 560 is actually a bit of a decent jump up from the 460 as well.
Makes sense.
And it's the same price.
Cool.
So.
Sweet deal.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, but basically, if you're looking at getting a 470 or 480, say, 3-4 weeks ago, unless it's really cheap, basically just get this, because it's slightly better. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
They have the same price.
Yeah.
So, win-win.
Yep. And you can still get them in 4 and 8 gig variants, so they still got lots of RAM on them and stuff, but yeah, nothing too crazy, but hey, if it's faster and it's the same price, it's always better, right?
Exactly.
So, and I'm going to throw I got a couple other AMD things from here, they're going to be really quick. I'm just going to throw them all in kind of together.
Might as well.
I don't know if you remember last year, AMD did a video card called the Radeon Pro Duo.
Yes.
Which was basically just 2 Fiji chips from the Fury X slapped onto the same PCB, and it came with like the liquid cooler, and
exactly.
it was really hot. So they released a new one.
Okay.
This one has 2 of the Polaris chips on it, so it's basically 2 480s or 580s.
Is it not water cooled?
No.
Interesting.
It's not quite the volcanic heat emitting monster that that the other 2 are. It still takes 250 watt power, so it's got a 6 and an 8 pin power on it.
Okay.
But it's cheaper, so it's a grand instead of 1500.
Okay, that's significant.
It's definitely cheaper. It's a lot more than buying 2 480s or 580s on their own.
Probably.
Because 580s are about $250 each.
Okay.
But the one nice thing is they've doubled the VRAM in each chip. So overall you get 32 gigs of GDDR5. So if you're if you're in a position where you're doing maybe, I don't know if it would be like 3D rendering or whatever the case is, where you need a lot of VRAM, this is a nice, and you only have, and it's a small form factor, so you say you have a single slot.
Yep.
This is a nice way to pack a lot of power into one card and get lots of VRAM. And I mean, compared to some of the other top end stuff, like, I mean, NVIDIA has faster stuff.
Yeah.
But a $5,000 Quadro, if you don't have money for that and you still need lots of VRAM, this is a nice kind of alternative.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's all it is. It's basically just 2 Polaris chips together.
It's a ridiculous amount of RAM.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, just kind of a cool card. I don't think there's not gonna be really any gamers buying this because I mean, even if you wanted 2 players chips, you can get 2 580s for half the price.
It doesn't make any sense. For a gamer to buy this.
But if you're a pro and you're looking at, even say you're looking at a Titan card, for $1,200,
definitely this could be another option.
I mean, it doesn't have as much horsepower per GPU, but if you need VRAM and that's the issue, here you go. That could be an option. So that's kind of a cool thing. Yeah. And this last AMD thing is going to be super duper quick because we're all waiting for Vega. I know you guys are. I'm waiting for Vega. We all want to see it. AMD just came out recently. There's like a comment on one of their posts here. I have the link. It's from Guru 3D, and basically somebody commented and was just like, "When will Vega be ready? Like I need it. Come on." And AMD said it will be ready when it's ready, which will be this quarter. So by the end of June, we should have Vega. We should have the benchmarks and stuff. I'm assuming if they're saying this quarter, it's probably going to be Computex. Because, I mean, that's when most of the stuff happens for that kind of thing.
I would imagine, because, I mean,
it's either...
That's the biggest show to unveil it at.
Yeah, because it's usually either at Computex or, a couple days before Computex to kind of help steal some thunder. Because, I mean, Intel is expected to do some stuff at Computex as well, so if AMD wants to maybe try to steal some thunder, they could... put out Vega before Computex, but I highly doubt it would be after at that point.
It just doesn't make sense to bring it up before. Might as well just announce it there. Because this is a big announcement, right?
Yeah. Well, we've seen that before, where somebody's going to have there was, I think it was a couple years ago or so, I forget. If it was the Maxwell event or the Pascal event, I think it was the Maxwell event, where NVIDIA had a big press conference going on for Maxwell. Yeah. AMD set up shop across the street and held their own big press conference to try to steal some thunder.
Of course.
So we have seen stuff like that in the past. But regardless, I'm assuming it's just going to be Computex. It makes the most sense.
Yeah. We'll find out, I guess.
So I just thought I'd throw it out there, guys. It's coming, we've been hearing about Vega for a year and a half now.
Definitely.
So, I mean, AMD needs something in the high end. That's a whole other discussion. But they need something faster than the 580 because, I mean, the 580 is what? It's going up against the 1060?
Yeah, it doesn't compete.
Then you've got the 70, the 80, the TIs, So, anyway, I just thought I'd throw it out there real quick. It's coming.
Yep.
Anyway... what else do we got here? We had some other stuff.
Yeah, NAB 2017. Definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Blackmagic's killing it right now. I was just bashing them, which is funny in the last one because there's I don't know.
It's not bashing, but it is. I mean,
they're expensive.
There's competition.
Have good products, but they're expensive, right? So
yeah. But they're getting competition now for some stuff now.
Exactly.
At least in that market, anyway.
They're killing it with Davinci Resolve right now. It's already the best, hands down, color suite. I guess in your personal opinion, but from my professional opinion, it is easily the most used color suite I've seen. Now they dropped the price by 2/3, so I think it was down from 700 to 300, I believe.
Yeah, so that's pretty significant.
So it's a huge price
less than
drop.
half the price.
But then they're also releasing version 14, which is now...
Oh yeah, there we go. From 1,000 to 300 bucks.
There you go.
Wow.
So $1,000 to $300. That's insane.
Yeah.
So 70% just gone.
That's awesome.
They're also releasing version 14, which is basically a new overall NLE. If you don't know an NLE, it's a non-linear editing.
Yeah, non-linear editor.
Or workstation, or whatever you call it. But
so just because I don't know a lot about this stuff, I might feel free to laugh at me, guys, because I don't know all this. Is Adobe also an NLE?
Yes.
Okay.
So all the editing software like Cyberlink is NLE. Anything that's an editing suite is an NLE. Okay. Any editing suite is non-linear now because linear systems used to be tape.
Okay.
So this might be interesting. I don't know if people want to know this or not, but.
I don't know this either.
NLEs are non-linear because I can go to point A
and then go over here.
I can go to 5 minutes into the video and start editing, or I can start editing at 40 seconds in, or I can start editing at 20 seconds in, or whatever. It doesn't matter where I start editing.
That's almost like now that I know that, I almost feel like, wow, that just makes sense.
Yeah, I can just slap the footage into a timeline and start working with it anyway.
Because when you were dealing with tape, it was I will start
at second 1, and I will go to second 2, and I will go to second 3, and I will go to second 4.
Yeah.
Because you had to start from the beginning of the tape and go to the end.
Yes.
And then the way you make your cuts is you would physically have first of all, machines are massive. The machines would be the size of, say, the wall behind you.
Sure. And you would do, splices and stuff.
You would literally cut the tape, and then you'd have to tape the tape back together. So say to do your cut, you'd have scene A, and then you want to cut to scene B. You find the frame you want to cut on, literally splice that tape, So then now the next frame is that frame you want to see, and then you take the cut from the previous tape you want to cut from, and then you literally tape those pieces together and then send it through the machine.
Alright.
It's like, okay, that's pretty insane. But
hence why they call
it cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're definitely competing. Blackmagic's definitely competing in the NLE market now with cheaper prices for one, more matching Adobe. I mean, Adobe's subscription based with CC now, so it's kind of still a little bit different.
Sure. But that price drop is huge, though.
Like
that's
$1,000 to $300 is ridiculous.
Yeah. Like that's normally you'd be like, oh, it's $100 off or something, right? But
the nice thing that I think for Davinci Resolve compared to Adobe, somebody might correct me, but as far as I know, I don't think this exists. Blackmagic is just super good at supporting their software with hardware. So like what you see in this image right now is this guy working on this console. That console is next level. Like that doesn't exist from anybody other than Blackmagic as far as I'm aware.
Right. So this console is made by Blackmagic and it's for their software.
Yes, it's for Davinci Resolve. And now that it's an NLE, I'm not sure how it'll work exactly with an NLE, but
now this software, you don't have to have this console, right?
No, no. Basically, like you see him on there, he's messing with like the little trackballs and stuff. That's essentially controlling your color wheels and stuff. It's more of a color console right now because I mean DaVinci Resolve wasn't an NLE until 2 days ago.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's for color correction and that sort of thing. And,
it was a color suite before, so now it's more of a total editing software package.
Right on.
Or should be with number 14. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, considering it's literally like on the building of NAB right now.
Yeah, like all
I thought
over the side.
We should probably talk about it.
No, for sure. Well, and it's nice to see like. And this might sound weird. Like, I'm not trying to bash Adobe anyways. They make awesome stuff, but it is good to have more competition,
yes,
right?
100%.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I think the only competition in the NLE market right now, well, real competition in the professional market would be like Adobe and
like Sony Vegas. Would that be
Pro Tools?
Oh yeah, Pro Tools too. Yeah.
I know I'm missing one.
I know
Resolve is obviously in there now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still in there. It's just more for color. Like it was.
I know. Do you know? Like, do a lot of people use Sony Vegas Pro still? I know some people use it, obviously, but like I don't know if it's like hugely popular.
Not that I know of. No, I mean, like I know of one that probably nobody's ever heard of, which is Quantel.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
Which is a really weird one to use Wacom tablets to operate the software, which is really strange, or at least that's what I've seen. I know I'm missing one, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's nice to see some more competition.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Just make sure it's already. Well, yeah, that price drop is huge.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Like that's for sure.
And that was like debut of NAB. Oh yeah, here's $1,000 or $700 price drop.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys.
So next up, more hardware news because
hardware,
because I got no life and that's what I read about. So SK Hynix came out and they're saying
no idea what that is. I'm not gonna lie.
So GDDR6, well, everybody knows GDDR5. It's been on graphics cards for years. GDDR6 is apparently going to be on some graphics cards in early 2018, so early next year.
Okay, cool.
There's
Volta, obviously. That makes sense.
There's speculation that it's going to be Volta. I wouldn't be surprised.
That makes sense. I mean like next gen.
Yep. Especially because, like we know, Vega. Sorry, we know Vega's supposed to be HBM2.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all but confirmed at this point. So it's not going to be on Vega, and at that point, now there is also rumors though that I didn't include this in here. I'll just mention this really quick. There is also rumors going right now that NVIDIA might debut Volta in Q3 this year.
I don't think they'll do that, but
I don't think they will.
I feel like they're just going to try and milk Pascal first.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I was saying it's always the rumor. I should have brought my salt with me so I could just put it down every time I talk about a rumor. Like, here's your salt, guys, because you're going to need it. But anyway, so yeah, they say GDDR6 is going to be early 2018. They said it works with high-end graphics cards up to 384-bit interface, which, surprise, surprise, sounds like a high-end NVIDIA GPU to me.
Yeah, definitely.
But the cool thing with this is they say, like in the article here, it says it's good for up to 768 gigabytes of graphics data per second.
Okay. Which
is insane because it means it's going to be running at 16 gigabits, so twice as fast as GDDR5.
Okay.
So really, really fast. And the reason that that's so crazy is just because right now, the HBM Gen 1 on Fury X is 512 gigs a second.
Yeah. So
HBM Gen 2 that's supposed to be on Vega is still 512 gigs a second. And the reason they did that is somewhat complicated, but basically they just halved the width of the bus.
Okay.
But HBM2 has twice as much throughput. So they halve the bus, twice as much throughput, it works out to the same.
Okay.
So it's still 512.
Yep.
This is not even HBM. And it's got 50% more throughput, theoretically.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
NVIDIA.
Like, that's crazy.
NVIDIA
So
always kills it in the high end.
Yeah, so that's definitely interesting. Yeah, so and then a little further down we can see here, there's the Pascal, the Titan X or whatever.
Yeah.
Still a hell of a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But You know, I mean, even this theoretically too. Like,
or
if
they stepping up by like 25% or like 50%.
Yeah, just shy of 50%. Just shy of 50%. Yeah.
They always do that. They just like. It seems like NVIDIA is just really good at like raising the bar like really high.
So the thing that really gets me excited for this is like, so this, the 384-bit thing, that's obviously going to be like a TI or a Titan.
Yeah.
But if you had this on, say, a 256-bit card, right, like your 1080 or your 1070,
sure,
that means you're going to have almost this bandwidth on like a 2070 or a 2080.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So when we went from the Maxwell to the Pascal thing, it was like, hey, now your 980 Ti is like a 1070.
Yeah.
And your 980 is like a 1060.
It's going to be even bigger jump.
So, or it's going to be at least the same, if not bigger, right? So it's going to be like, hey, now your 1080 is going to be like a 2060.
Yeah, at least in terms of memory.
Yeah, at least in terms
so
of
far
bandwidth.
from what we know.
Yeah, I mean,
like performance, it might not work out the same way. But
yeah, the one thing we don't know is if, because we know Pascal is a tweak of Maxwell, it's just basically Maxwell at higher clock speeds.
Right.
So we don't know if they're going to go in and redesign the whole architecture for Volta yet.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they are, but we don't know that for sure.
I feel like they should at this point.
So
because,
I agree, because Maxwell was
Kepler to Maxwell to Pascal, and then Pascal was never really in the timeline until after Maxwell released.
Exactly, yeah. Because they weren't even going to release, like Pascal wasn't even going to be a thing. They were going to go from Maxwell to Volta.
Exactly.
But they were going to do stacked DRAM on Volta, which didn't pan out.
And I thought Maxwell wasn't supposed to be a new gen at first. It was supposed to be a Kepler refresh.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing. Like Maxwell, they changed quite a bit, but it essentially was, they went in and changed a lot, but it was working on the same basic architecture as Kepler.
Yeah.
And then Pascal was just Maxwell on 60 nanometer with like crazy clock speeds, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
So it is definitely time for them to do a new architecture.
Yeah.
We just don't have that 100% confirmed yet.
Yeah.
I would imagine that it is. But the cool thing about this is, though, just like we're not even on HBM yet, and we're getting, like, we're creeping up on a terabyte per second of bandwidth.
Yeah, it's actually insane.
So that's pretty crazy.
The future's going to be crazy for us.
Yep. And the nice thing, too, with anything that's GDDR based is it's kind of a standard that's been set in stone for so long that it's cheaper to implement.
True. Rather than an HBM solution.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's nice, too. So,
cool.
What I'm hoping for, too, just also is, like, so GDDR5X is obviously still around. I'm hoping that, like, our 2080 or 1180, whatever they decide to call it, will be, like, the GDDR6 thing. I want to see, like, a 2070 or a 2060 or 1170, whatever they call it. But I want to see, like, those class cards starting to get GDDR5X. Can you imagine, like, a 10 or a 2060 with, like, 8 gigs of GDDR5X?
That'd be sweet.
Like what the 1080 has now? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
maybe that would be a good idea to actually just do the older style RAM, but have more of it on some lower end cards rather than just saying like, here's the new gen, but you have no RAM.
Yeah, like, well, they're still gonna. I still think they're gonna up the amount, but just like GDDR5X really is still pretty new. It only came out last year.
True.
So I mean, it would just be nice to like now these like mid tier class cards are still getting like really fast GDDR5X.
True.
But now it's like a $250 card instead of like a $500 or $600 card. So
about the price too.
You know.
True.
Anyway, so yeah, that will be pretty cool. Up next, we got Adobe stuff. What?
Yeah.
Zoom in a little bit here.
I love how every article that I talk about, I bash the article ahead of it. Like I bash the company ahead of them. Like in the first one, I bash Blackmagic, and then we talk about Blackmagic. The last one, I bash Adobe.
And then we jump into some Adobe stuff for sure.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's a new trend.
Yeah, new updates to CC. I mean, not really surprising considering it's subscription now, but figure we should talk about it with NAB going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Basically, there's a couple new things they did. I don't know. Is this article talking about the new graphics panel? No, I think the next one does.
Yeah, our next one's the graphics panel.
Yeah, this one is basically more just overall updates to the whole suite. So there's updated character animation stuff. So camera shake, deblur. It's mostly just general updates. There's nothing too.
So are these?
This is probably the biggest feature here. Team projects.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still in. It's probably still in beta until this actually releases.
Okay.
But basically, it's multiple Adobe subscription users can sign into obviously the cloud. So you have this project has to be on the cloud, obviously, for it to work. But.
So is it like multiple people can work on a project at the same time?
Exactly.
That's cool.
I don't know if it supports. I haven't tried it myself because I don't have multiple people.
Sorry about that, guys. Quick technical difficulty, but we're back up and running, and Adobe stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a waste of time.
Hey man, you know it's our first thing. It's our first recording. Of course it couldn't go smoothly. Right?
It happens.
Yeah. But it's all good.
Anyway, Adobe. Following the NAB news. Go back to this real quick now, but basically they released new updates. There's a new Creative Cloud update coming. think probably May or June 2017.1.
Okay.
A bunch of new features. Like if you scroll through here, there's a couple new features. I don't remember all apart, but motion graphics templates, new character animation stuff.
Cool. I remember you were telling me about the one before, which I think is at the this one here, the project.
So shake deblur. That's just an effect basically that they're probably adding. Just unwanted blur, which is fine.
From like camera shakiness, that kind of thing. Help get rid of that.
And they already have an effect for that, so I'm not exactly sure what that one does more than the other one, but
fair enough.
Yeah, definitely the biggest feature in the new update would be team projects, which is basically multiple concurrent, or sorry, not concurrent. I'm not sure if concurrent users yet can use it, but basically. Multiple Adobe subscription holders can log into their account and then share projects with other users, so then you can all work on the same project all at once.
Right.
I still don't know if you can work on it simultaneously or not. Hopefully that'll be a thing.
That'd be cool.
Where multiple users can have input on the same timeline at the same time. That would be amazing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll see.
So it'd be like kind of like if we were working on a video and then if you were doing audio and I was doing video or something, I could go in and edit some video.
While I'm doing some audio.
And then I save it and you can go in and do the audio part or go in and add some effects or something.
Theoretically too, and what I'm hoping for is when, say we're both working on it at the same time and we both have the project open on our computers, if you close it and save it, your changes get saved, but I still have it open. So those changes get updated to my project. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I would see your changes instantaneously, even as you're doing the edits. Mm-hmm. It's just constantly being saved. So you do an edit, I see it immediately. So then when you leave and close the project, I'm hoping that just gets automatically saved for your changes, and then now when I save it again, it saves my changes. It's the same project. It doesn't make a new project file or anything like that. That'd be cool. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, that'd be really handy.
But yeah, relating to this, again, another Adobe update from NAB. Mm-hmm. New Essentials graphics panel is what they're calling it. Cool. Essentially, it's actually pretty cool. Dancing here or something? Yeah, they probably show a few things. Yeah, some highlights in there. Cool. We'll post all these links, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll have links for like all the stuff we talk about in the description, so you guys can check them out.
But yeah, basically they introduced a new graphics panel. It essentially allows you to do some cool things with After Effects and motion graphics within Premiere. Okay. For the most part, the coolest thing was what they're showing right there in that picture. Actually, is that little pop-up box on the right where you can choose a layer, and it's actually a video, so that's convenient.
Oh yeah, started out playing.
Cool, but yeah, basically what he's doing there, he's adding an effect, and then he's now naming, he called it name, so then now when you bring this After Effects composition into Premiere, you can now edit that name, because he titled it as a name, to change the actual text.
Okay, so you can change it to say whatever you want.
Exactly, so he called it, like it's titled as a name, so then when you go to edit it in Premiere, it's going to say, hey, name, what do you want the name to be?
Sure.
So then
you could change it to whatever you want.
Say you want it to be ABC. Now, like without going into After Effects, it'll automatically change it in Premiere to reflect those changes.
That's cool.
But what you have to make sure you do in After Effects is program those changes to be able to happen. So you have to be able to apply the effect to that layer that you want to be able to change in Premiere, and then distinguish what that thing they're changing is, like calling it's a name they're changing, or it's the address they're changing, and then allowing them to actually change the text.
Right. So you have to specify like what it is.
Or it's just going to be like change what.
Like you can change, you didn't even buy anything. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's definitely some cool stuff. That'll definitely help a lot if you're using a lot of After Effects animations or title animations within your videos. Projects. Yeah. Like that would help a lot, especially for somebody who does the same title animation. Let's say like a sports broadcaster. Yeah. Where they have this like specific thing they talk about forever, or not talk about forever, but they have this like intro they always play, but then they change the name on it every day.
Or somebody like us, even where it's like theoretically, like if we had a big animation and we had the date in it every week, we just change the date.
Exactly,
like that.
But you wouldn't have to bring it into After Effects every time to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Change it from there.
Yeah, that's definitely could be a lot of time saved for sure.
Yep.
Cool. So we're gonna get into our last couple things real quick. We got some space stuff because space is cool.
Super cute.
It's super cute. So Cassini recently completed its final flyby of Titan. There's a bunch of stats that...
For anybody who doesn't know, Titan is a moon orbiting Saturn.
One of Saturn's moons. But yeah, they just completed their final flyby, and NASA released some stats. So I got them up on the screen here. 22 orbits in total. They came within just over 1,000 miles of the clouds, which is pretty intense.
Did you hear about the final, the final plunge?
The final plunge?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, dude, you gotta read the article.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all that stuff is true, but that probe's not coming back.
Oh, yeah, it got wrecked.
They sent it into the planet.
Yeah, they crashed it into the planet, yes, yeah.
Essentially what they did is they had it orbit Titan, obviously. So orbit Titan did all this thing.
Yep.
But eventually on the last... They basically put it into a trajectory that would orbit Titan 22 times, knowing it would do that, but then Titan would increase its velocity because of all the orbits, which would send it into a final orbit to go past Saturn, but it ends up it's on a unstoppable trajectory. Right. Like no matter what input, there's a point where they can't make any corrections. No matter what they do,
it's just going to do its own thing.
They can't get far enough away from the planet that it won't get sucked in anymore.
Right.
So they knew at one point, no matter what, it was getting pulled into the planet and it was going to get destroyed.
Right.
So they figured, let's go with the bang, basically. So
sure.
They did this like cool last orbit. So then they figured they would send it around Titan a bunch of times, gather a bunch of information, and let it crash into the planet.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, I remember hearing about I remember crashing into the planet. I just didn't know if
they even had. I mean, I don't think Saturn has a surface. Actually, I'm not sure.
I know it's a huge gas giant.
I was gonna say I think it's gas giant, so it probably just got crushed by gravity at some point.
Yep.
But yeah, there's literally, I think they say in the article that at one point they watch it go into the atmosphere, and then like seconds later, it's just like cease transmission, just gone.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, it says the mission will conclude with a science-rich plunge into Saturn's atmosphere on September 15th.
Yeah.
So
they're basically starting all that.
Yeah, trajectory. One final plunge into Saturn right there, September 15th. Yeah.
So I'm not sure where they're at in the timeline right now of the orbits, but they must be just orbiting Titan still. And then...
yeah, they're not quite done yet. They're almost done with it, but...
And then eventually... Well, yeah, they must be on like the last couple orbits at this point. With only, how long do we have left? 5 months?
About
April.
We got about 5 months. Well, roughly a little bit less than 5.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's pretty cool. That's thought I'd throw that out there because space stuff is always cool to check out.
So fast and moving too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
27,000 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Okay.
And last but not least, just one quick games thing.
Oh, this
Outlast
is insane.
Outlast 2.
I can't even handle this.
Yeah, so this is PC Gamer's review. I'm not going to go talk about their review so much. This is just something for you guys to check out. I recently bought Outlast 2. I haven't beaten it yet. I got a long way to go till I'm there.
Because you're crazy.
I have been playing it a bit. It's super sketchy. Super sketchy. I highly recommend it if you like horror games.
It sounds like you recommend it.
I do. If you like horror games, it's fun.
It's just horrible.
He doesn't like horror games.
I recommended this horrible experience to you. Have fun.
Well, it depends. It depends on your opinion.
I guess it's not a horrible experience. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah.
You're not a fan of horror games.
I would never play this game. You couldn't pay me. Okay, you could pay me enough, but
it would be a lot of money.
Yeah. It would require vast sums of money to get me to play this game.
If you like horror games, if you like being scared and blood and gore and stuff, right. It honestly is cool. It's a fun game. A little frustrating at times because you got to figure out your ways through the enemies and stuff, but
that's part of horror.
It's definitely, I would say, a step up from the first one, and just in terms of the first one was really cool and it's still really sketchy, but it's a lot of you're in an asylum in the first one, so it's a lot of corridors, hallways, and I mean it's in some ways easier to get away from people in that sense because it's I ran around 3 corners and hid in this thing and it's now they don't know where I am. Whereas this is you're being chased through a cornfield at night.
Yeah.
They have flashlights.
No thanks.
So have fun. Yeah, so stuff like that.
And then it's hide in the grass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
No.
So it's definitely a step up in terms of the game world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really sketchy. Again, if you like horror games, I would recommend it. I might bring it up a little bit, down the road a bit once I've beaten it and kind of give my full opinion on it. But
give our review.
For now, I would say check it out if you like to be scared. It's not expensive either. It's not an $80 game. It's $30 US.
True.
I bought it here in Canada on day one for $33.
That's honestly the biggest thing about this game right now. Screw you all, EA, screw all this crap, releasing $80 games. This is a AAA title for the most part. It looks amazing.
It does look really good.
It's $32. I understand, there's probably a little more work that goes into some bigger AAA titles.
Sure, obviously Battlefield or something has a lot of work that goes into it.
And I understand a bigger price, but $60, guys, come on.
Yeah, or even $80, okay.
It better be the best game.
But no, $80, but then don't be hey, it's a $60, $80 game. I'm saying 80 because we're in Canada. It is $60 US, but
sure.
So $60 game US, whatever. But then there's another $40, $50, $60 of DLC.
Sure.
That's what gets me. Is hey, if I'm gonna pay this much money for a game, okay. And I'm not even necessarily opposed to having additional content that I buy, but like to the point where I feel like I'm really only getting like half the game because I have like only a couple of maps or something.
Go back to the way it was, where it was like I have this full game, and now there's this add-on DLC that is a new story or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like new stories, not like here's a $5 gun.
Half the story now. Buy the DLC.
Yeah.
Like no.
Or like here's a $5 gun.
Yes.
Something like that, or it's just like, man.
Not pay to win stuff, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, luckily we don't see any more pay to win generally
for the most,
not in AAA titles generally.
No, for the
most.
Unless
it's like MMO stuff. Maybe.
Well, yeah, but
then okay, but yeah.
Anyway, if you like horror games, check out Outlast 2. It's pretty cool. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else, so
we're good.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching the show, guys. We hope you liked it. We'll be back at it again next week.
First Geeky Leaks podcast in the books.
Yep.
Yeah.
First one down, which is awesome. Many more to come.
We film once a week. We release every Saturday mornings. So
yep.
People watch out. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, all that stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and we film every Thursday. We're out every Saturday morning. And yeah, if there's anything that you guys want us to talk about in future videos, or
shoot the comments,
or your thoughts about this one, yeah, just give some comments. Let us know. We need feedback. We need to know what you guys like and don't like.
Any type of feedback is good feedback. So for sure.
Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.